All right, what's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? It is another amazing opportunity for us to get better. I am Joey Womack, founder and CEO of Goodie Nation, and you all are in for an absolute treat. Today, I got my homie, my friend Yulkendy here, the Grow with Google Northeast Regional Coach, and we're going to talk about how entrepreneurs can master the fundamentals of fundraising using the Google tool NotebookLM, right? Using the Google tool NotebookLM. So let's lock in. Let's use this as an opportunity over the next few minutes to get better. You can drop your comments, your questions as comments on whatever platform you're checking in from, whether it's LinkedIn, YouTube, or Instagram. Drop a comment. We'll pull it in together. We'll pull all the stuff in and we'll be good to go. Right. So before we get to the good stuff, right? So you can learn how to use NotebookLM to increase the likelihood of you getting funding and stuff like that. I want to kick it over to Yulkendy for a quick intro.
Hello, everybody. So excited. Happy Thursday. I am the new Grow with Google coach, Yulkendy Valdez, calling in from Brooklyn. Let us know in the comments where you're dialing in from. And Joey, whenever you're ready, let's get to it. Because like you said, today is all about being in community and learning together as friends. I'm learning right along with you. So super excited to talk about NotebookLM.
Awesome. Okay. So before we go though, I know you're dope. I know you're amazing, but I do want the other folks to kind of get a sense of who you are, why they should listen to your experience as an entrepreneur and all the things. So can you quickly describe, your background and stuff?
100%. So for most of my early career, I was a small business owner myself. So I've been through the highs and lows of entrepreneurship. I truly believe is the best job in the world, but it can be a struggle bus, y'all, to have to fundraise, to sell, to also be a good manager to your team. You constantly have to wear all these hats, and time is not unlimited. And that's why I'm excited now that years later, I'm starting my second company. We have all these practical AI tools in our back pocket that we can use to reclaim that time. So I'm bringing that experience from someone in the field, but also I went on to support other entrepreneurs at accelerators and incubators, and also most recently at Google for Startups and Google Cloud. So startups, small businesses are my family, my community, and really, really excited to be here.
Awesome. Well, let's jump into it. I'll let you take it from here.
Awesome. All right. AI, artificial intelligence. It is everywhere, y'all. But the question is, how do we actually make it work for us in our day-to-day to help us with those mundane tasks that take up a lot of time? And this is National Small Business Month. Happy month, everyone, for those that are building businesses or just getting them off the ground. And the first thing that can be really taxing is that you hear about all these amazing opportunities, whether grants or requests for proposals, but it's a game of time and whether you can actually get that application in on time. And it shouldn't be left off to chance and luck, right? All of you deserve to be in that pool to submit that application to get the funding that you need to scale your business. And so AI can be a wonderful tool to help you save time. So even if you learn about that grant and it's due tomorrow, you have a chance to get that application in. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Again, my name is Yulkendy Valdez. I'm a Grow with Google coach. It just means I spend a lot of time with small business owners such as yourself, so you can get back to your genius and your creativity that you're leveraging across industries, building relationships, and you let the rest to AI to help you with those repetitive emails, marketing materials, presentations, things that you can do, but AI can do faster and better, so you can actually focus on the strategy or your business. And again, I'm not talking at you. I'm also a business owner myself. Right now, I'm building Healers Health. We're a technology company that's matching youth and families to social needs and benefits. So around food, housing, sports program, arts program. So I love building technology for good. And those in the chat, hype yourself up. Let us know in the comments, what are you building? How can we support your business? Again, we're all in it together. But let's slow down for a little bit and let's reflect on maybe the reason that you started tuning into the live, or why you've been going to a tons of AI workshops, right? Is because we only have a set amount of hours in the day, and time is running out. And we're told that we got to grow faster, that we got to evolve in this modern age. So I'm curious, in the comments, how many hours per week especially do you spend searching for all information, all files, especially as it regards to a grant? We all have submitted hundreds of grants with the same response, like what's the target demographic that you serve? What is your traction of the business? How much success have you had? We all have different versions of the document. And then when it comes to the next grant, we're like, where's that old application? Maybe I can use these answers to apply to a new one, but then we can't find it. We can't find it because they're all they're lost and in separate documents. Sometimes it's handwritten, right? And we can't find that information. For me, I got to be honest, y'all, before I found out about a tool like NotebookLM, I would be spending 15, 20 minutes just trying to figure out the old documents that I've saved just to get started. And I think Joey will let me know later on in the comments how much time you're spending. So we're really hoping here that with NotebookLM is a true time saver for you. And we actually have a case study from a real life business owners or how they're using this, not just for fundraising, but for their human resources, for their employee culture, for sales as well. It can truly be used for anything. And then we'll do a specific demo around fundraising, which is why we're here today. And then now that you know more about the tool, we want to make sure that you have an action plan or continue to train yourself around it. For example, Grow with Google has amazing certifications where you can continue your AI learning, and I'll be sharing the link towards the end as well. But now, without further ado, meet NotebookLM. Again, if you're still a pen to paper person and I have 20 notebooks, that's okay. But if also you want a way to transfer all that knowledge to a digital notebook, this would be the way to do it. So NotebookLM is essentially Google's research and note-taking assistant. If you're on your computer or in your phone, download the app, go to notebooklm.google so you can follow along as we talk about the features of this amazing tool. With NotebookLM, first, it starts with sources. So these can be YouTube videos, research papers, books, website articles, blogs that you found in your industry to be relevant. Sources, in the case of fundraising, can be that RFP document that was released with a $500,000 opportunity, but has 50 pages of requirements and criteria that you have to meet. You can also upload those RFPs to NotebookLM, or a grant that you found. You can also upload them, and I'll show you how to do it. And then essentially, once you have a notebook with those sources, you can ask questions, you can interact with it. So essentially is a mini brain with your own sources in your pocket that you can ask questions at any time. Why is this super cool? Because I hear from a lot of small business owners that they're worried that when they just go into an AI assistant, that it would hallucinate, right? That it might tell you the wrong information or might lead you just because it doesn't have the right context, or it might give you a general response. With NotebookLM, you're in control. You actually put the own sources that you know have been vetted by you or your team. So you're only getting answers from the knowledge, from your own brain. And so that helps, especially if you want to make sure that what you're getting is cited and is backed up by a real resource that you trust. And then you can do all kinds of things to it, like mind maps, presentations, audio. So you can bring that knowledge and create different visuals within minutes. And I'm also going to show you that in a second. But before I do that, again, I want to leave you with a case study of how small business owners in our network are using NotebookLM. I'm going to show you a video from Mike. Runs a hospitality group, is in that space. And actually, Mikey's using NotebookLM for their human resources and to save them time with sources, especially like employee manuals that can be 100 pages. But employees sometimes don't read. We don't read. We're busy people. So it's a good way through a NotebookLM that the employees can learn about the policies within seconds versus waiting. Here it is.
As a small business owner, my time is limited. So I use AI to help me create efficiencies throughout the business. Here's how I use AI to make communicating employee policies easier. In order for me to be efficient with my time, it's incumbent on me to find the resources available for my employees to have on hand. I would spend my time explaining and re-explaining policies and procedures to new employees. Previously, we'd have notebooks on site. Those would get lost. You'd have procedures you put in place that are then updated by the city of Chicago. I realized that NotebookLM would be an amazing tool to help with this issue. So we took the documents we already had existing in Google Drive. We upload them straight into NotebookLM. Now we have 30, 40 different procedures and policies now in a notebook. From there, we send it off to employees. Now they can ask questions to NotebookLM directly. For example, if a new employee comes on board and asks, hey, how much time do we get up? What is the PTO policy? These things are kind of nuanced. It takes time to explain, but they can now ask the questions in Notebook, which is giving them answers based on the files that we uploaded. Now I can create the policy and get it out to people in a matter of minutes. I can't count how much time it's going to save me in the future.
So again, this is real application of NotebookLM in the field. And what we're finding is that it's saving approximately 13 hours a week just by implementing NotebookLM to carry these very dense sources and turn it into a very digestible, interactive tool that you and your staff can use. But without further ado, I'm actually going to go into NotebookLM now. I'm going to share my screen. And again, if you're not there, do follow. And here's is essentially what NotebookLM looks like. You can here create notebooks. You can have as many notebooks as you want. Let me show you how that works. Again, it all starts with adding sources. You can upload files. So it can be, for example, a company one sheet that you created that has all that is unique. Folks need to know about your business, from pricing, from growth strategy. You can upload videos. And again, since it's connected to Google, adding YouTube videos is super easy. So it's in the context of fundraising, you know that RFPs, they do informational webinars, right? Or they did past webinars where they talked about successful applicants. Sometimes these videos are 30, 60 minutes. You don't have time to watch. Now you can upload that as a resource into your NotebookLM to help you digest it much, much faster. It is connected to your Drive. Again, this is one of the perks of using Google tools. You give it access to documents easily that you can create. This can include past RFP or grants applications that you've done that have been successful and you want to leverage for future applications. And then if you also just have good notes that you took from an in-person meeting or transcript, you can also copy and paste it. And that also counts as a resource. So it's very flexible and diverse to those needs that you have. And you can take notes and sources from anywhere and put it in that NotebookLM. So here, if let's say I'm applying for a grant that is due by tomorrow, and we've all been in that situation. By tomorrow, by midnight, it's the Urban Innovation Small Business Growth Grant. And it is 100 pages of requirement. I can upload here those requirements so I can better know what are the core eligibility for these grants. And it can pull from the sources, and instead of reading it, now I understand that the business must be in operation for at least 24 months, that the revenue must be between 100,000 and 1.5 million. So again, that way I know I'm eligible. I can do the research process much more quickly. So let's say I'm available. I can then ask, given this, what is the recommendation to answer the question around growth strategy. And for this one is using sources from my company one sheet that I also uploaded, and also my company presentation. So I'm able to get support and actually submit that application super, super quickly. Another cool feature for NotebookLM, and to show you, I'm gonna go here. I have one also where I uploaded taxes and financials. You know that a lot of the grants require you to upload 3 to 5 year financial projections, your profit and loss statements, a breakdown of your expenses. Y'all, I suck at finance. If you're like me, leave some love in the comments. It's okay. We all have our own skill. I use NotebookLM to, hey, explain it to me like I'm a 5th grader, so I can then better submit an application. And then I can actually create these audio podcasts. Isn't that cool? Where I can actually interact and learn from that knowledge in a more digestible way. So again, if you love audio, you just don't love reading text, you can create these deep dives with NotebookLM. So for example, let me actually show you here.
Your scorecard.
I think that's a perfect way to frame it. Because when you look at the glossary's breakdown of assets, it doesn't just list them randomly. It categorizes them by liquidity.
Which is basically a measure of how fast you can run if things go south, right?
Exactly. It's your escape velocity.
That's super cool. And if, let's say, I've learned better in Spanish, I don't know if we have Spanish speakers.
Es evidente, hay que cambiar esto y ya está. Es un diagnóstico súper limpio.
Súper limpio y reconfortante.
Or if I have a staff that speaks better in that language, I can take that same knowledge and put it in any language, y'all. But it's just not.
Ahí está el problema.
It's just
Es
not,
evidente.
it's not just listening and creating an audio. You can actually interact here. You can download it. So if you see this interactive mode right here that I'm going to show you, I can actually interrupt the podcast and ask questions like, can you tell me more about the financial requirements for this small business service loan and stuff, like things that would be super hard. Now you have someone that's objective, that's able to take you through it and explain it all. And you can ask it questions by voice back and forth, which is really cool. Just by clicking.
If you've been running a business for, more than a few months, you probably already know that your balance sheet is not just some passive.
Oh, our listeners got something to share. Let's hear it.
Sia, hello. Can you actually, I'm trying to apply for a grant. How can I really clean up my financials to be ready to submit an application? So here's thinking.
Welcome to the conversation. That is a fantastic and very timely question for what we are discussing today.
Yeah, thanks for jumping in. Getting grant ready is like training for a financial marathon.
Isn't that cool, y'all? You can actually have a conversation. So you remember those days when we're studying up or writing proposal, it feels like we're on our own. It's super stressful, but now you can use these tools to get the most out of your knowledge. You can, you have the ability to share your notebook again with folks that are helping you, whether it's advisors, also other business members. So it's truly a great tool. Sources, here you have 4. This is only for the demo. You can upload up to 50 sources. So a lot of powerful knowledge for one notebook. I'm also going to show you an example where I have a notebook just with all my previous applications that I've been successful. So next time I have a 20-page application, I can say, can you remind me the answer that I put for my growth strategy? I'm not looking for 20 minutes. I'm actually going into my NotebookLM and finding my most recent answer. So let me go and show you that particular notebook right here. Literally, I just call it Fundraising Notebook. And as you can see, it has recent applications that I've done. And then I can ask questions of how should I respond about my competitors? All right. And again, I'm able to use that, able to work with that draft, create a better answer. And it's just a faster way than finding and looking through my scatter applications. I can come to my fundraising notebook and get that support. NotebookLM was even go as far to also help you create the presentations for that particular grant and proposal. We're not going to be looking at that today, but again, I will try it here and create. You can go to slide deck. You can tell it again the language you want, short form, long form. You can create different reports, infographic. It is truly, truly dynamic, y'all. And that's why I love this tool. It's something you can start using for free with your personal Gmail, or if you're already in workspace with your team, again, it connects to your entire Google Suite, which is a really cool benefit.
So, Yulkendy, do you have an example of a slide deck to show? And if you can, I want to tell a quick story. So recently I announced that I'm a fellow for Center for Black Entrepreneurship, a research fellow, right? And we had a presentation due on our actual project to the advisors and other fellows and stuff like that. I find out the workshop was at 1:00, to be clear. I found out about this at 9:30 in the morning. I had a 10 o'clock meeting and a 11:30 meeting. Had no idea about this presentation before then. So what did I do? I took my application answers, just like you had, right? I had them in a Google Doc. I put it as the source into NotebookLM, brought in a few other sources like research from the web and something like that. It said, generate a slide deck. It took me like 10 minutes to generate the slide deck. I looked at the slide deck about 15 minutes before that workshop, went in and then made the presentation. So this is a real life example of like 2 months ago, how I was able to generate a slide deck for fundraising purposes, right? Using the written information that I already did. So again, I don't know if you have one. If not, I can maybe try to find one of my own.
Yes. Feel free, Joey. It's loading on my end. I am creating one. For this particular session, I wanted to focus on the cool audio features, but that's such a great example. But on that note, I do want to remind folks, and I'm going to go into the last part of my my presentation here, that it's important to build your AI action plan and use it responsibly, right? So yes, NotebookLM can create amazing outputs like presentations, but again, there's still a human in the loop. Access the output, make sure that it works for you. It's really solid. It can get you 90% there, but still budget that 10 to 20 minutes to look at it and make sure it's ready for that application grant proposal presentation. Again, you're still in the driving seat. It helps you mainly through the research, the early design, things that it would take a whole weekend when I had to apply for grants. And now, just like Joey, I know that even if I found about that opportunity last minute, I can still put my name in the hat, which is important. And then consider your own privacy and security implications. Obviously, here we're big believers of Google's privacy based on obviously on the reputation and other tools that which we use, from our Gmail to our Sheets to our Docs. But again, definitely always check that you're getting the output that you need, that you feel safe. And again, the magic of NotebookLM, it is your own sources, you're in control. So NotebookLM won't pull out general information. It will pull out information that's you fed it, which is awesome. And then tell others about NotebookLM. The tool works when you and your team are both using it, and it becomes a system and it becomes part of your daily workflow. And it's not just something that, again, you're using on your own here and there. It gets stronger the more sources you feed it, the more notebooks you create, and then eventually creates those time savings that we want to see, and ultimately successful grant and RFP applications. If you're curious to learn more about NotebookLM or other Google AI tools, definitely check out our certificates. grow.google/business. They're all available via Coursera, a platform that you know. I love the courses, all the coaches. We take them as well all the time. They're super fun, and hopefully you enjoy them as well. I don't know, Joey, if you want to add some, let me know what people have been saying in the comments, or if you have more anecdotes like that. But definitely one of the perks that the coaches are able to provide is actually small group coaching one-on-one. So if you're interested, leave a comment and I'll share my coaching link so we can actually continue this conversation and we can create a notebook together to help you apply for your next grant.
Yeah. So a few things. Over on LinkedIn, Shannon Jenkins, and appreciate you joining, Shannon. Talked about use cases, right? So I think a few use cases as it relates to fundraising and grants in particular. So one interesting use case, because you can share these notebooks and they're interactive, right? Yes, you can share them with your team, but you can also share them with your funders if you actually do receive a grant. I know if you're like me, like the funders, they want information and stuff like that. And then it may take you 2-3 days or maybe even an entire week to gather some of this stuff, right? And so it could be a situation whereby you grant them access, they can interact with it, get the information they need. So that's that. Two, Yulkendy, in a second, do you want to share a little bit more around the Kickstarter collaboration with Google and stuff like that?
Yeah, go for it. It is truly exciting talking about alternative funding, right? We have loans or forms of debt, capital, but also crowdfunding is the one that have popped up in the last several years. And even better, as a small business, to raise money for your own community is just so meaningful. So I am excited about the partnership, Joey, and please talk more about it. And before you do that, I wanted to mention one other use case because I just love the one you mentioned around this is a way where you can share easy information about our business with trusted funders and advisors. But also as an entrepreneur, you're constantly learning about the latest in your industry. So there's tons of white papers, ebooks and things like that. Create a notebook. That's your research notebook because you have to be a thought leader in your industry. So I have a notebook. I mentioned I'm in the health space, mental health space, working with youth. So anything that comes up about youth development, mental health, before it used to be overwhelming. I would lose that amazing resource someone shared. Now, NotebookLM. And I know I can use it later. And I know that I can use that data to apply to RFP. Because again, a good criteria of RFPs to make sure you have the latest research and data points about your industry, that you're not using something from the early 2010s, 29, so that's another use case that I would recommend and use it really as an industry guide.
Excellent thought there. So a few things, right? The next wave starter fund, that's the piece with Google and Kickstarter. So this is an opportunity where Kickstarter is collaborating with Google to deploy money and support for small business entrepreneurs. If over on our YouTube page, I just dropped the link, but quite honestly, you could just kind of just Google Kickstarter Next Wave Fund. Information from several sources will come up. Again, it's an amazing opportunity. Like it's right on brand what we're talking about today. It's an actual grant. So you have the opportunity to use this information and then go apply it, literally, right? As we kind of wrap up, though, there's a few things I want to say. If this information is valuable to you as an entrepreneur, please share with other entrepreneurs in your network. But also, if you have a community of entrepreneurs, right, whether it's you're part of an incubator, an accelerator, a online group or community or something like that, the Grow with Google Coaches program is designed to provide free coaching for your group, right? So we do webinars, we do in-person workshops. When I say I'm talking about Yulkendy here, to be absolutely clear. She does in-person workshops if there's enough people. We can also do these type of live streams. And so if you'd like to collaborate with us, and you're in the Northeast, if you're in the Northeast, let's call this DC to up, please contact Yulkendy if you want to collaborate on a webinar, a live stream, an in-person workshop to talk about, content like this. It's not just NotebookLM, it's also Gemini, Nano Banana, and more, right? If you're other parts of the country, you just happen to kind of tune in here, reach out to me directly on LinkedIn, right? And all this stuff is complimentary. And also, if you like to do a live stream through your profiles, we can do that too. We found that people that work with other entrepreneurs really get a lot of value from doing live streams with Yulkendy and her colleagues. And so either reach out to me. Again, if you're not in the Northeast, if you're in the Northeast, reach out to Yulkendy directly. And Yulkendy, where we're talking about reaching out to you, how can people get in contact with you?
Yes, and another tool, Joey, especially folks want to join our public events, definitely go to the Grow with Google coaches page. It has a lot of my public events. We have an exciting one to wrap up at National Small Business Month. So come by. We're going to have an AI mastermind, lots of partners that are AI consultants. They're on the field with small business owners are going to join me on that day. So please check it out. And then if you like it, let's do our own webinar. So right now you can reach me at yulkendy@phenomenaltalent.com. But again, I'll look in the comments and we'll make sure if you also LinkedIn direct message me or Joy will get you the right contact information, either if you want the one-on-one coaching or if you want to partner up on a workshop or event.
Awesome. Well, good stuff, y'all. Hopefully this is helpful to you all, especially on the afternoon going into almost the weekend, called almost weekend. And so again, you can watch a recap of this on our YouTube page. You can also send it to other entrepreneurs and people in your network, for-profits, nonprofits, and things of that nature. And I've also forgot to mention, if you want to collaborate with us on a workshop, you can be a nonprofit or you can be a for-profit, right? You can also go to this page on the Goodie Nation website to learn more and to fill out a form and kind of get the information directly. So we'll leave you with two things here. As we say, thank you for tuning in. One, stay magnetic, kind of stay together. And then two, outwork yesterday, y'all. Outwork yesterday. Oh, I'm sorry. One more thing. Create a notebook right now. Literally go create one right now. Test it out. So that's what we'll say to kind of close these out. We'll see y'all later. Peace out.